Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about A0. We haven't talked about A0 in a while. Honestly, Aleph Zero hasn't been one that I have been making daily videos on or anything like that, but I have been accumulating it. And we are really going in depth today on what has happened since, of course, I've taken a little bit of time away from A0. And do I still hold it? 100%. Am I still stacking it? 100%. And we are going to be talking about why. So, with all of that in mind, let's just dive in and let's start off with the fact that we still are seeing about 74.4% of the total supply staked. We do see the total issuance of about 314 million there. You guys are probably all aware of the tokenomics on this. Yes, it is inflationary at about 30 million tokens released per year. We've talked about this in the past, but here we actually have a full-on stat breakdown of the token itself. You could actually see the transfers, the validators, everything. And you can actually see the holders now. There's 35,209 holders, and you can actually see all of the balances here. To get into the top 100, you can actually check out the top 100 here. You have to have about 500,000 tokens. And actually, it's a little bit different. So you see the locked tokens here. They have about 556,000, and they're holding about 590,000. Very similar to like the number one. Obviously, like, there's none locked here, but you can definitely see like the balance and the locked amount of tokens. And I think that this is the same for almost all of the accounts. I might be wrong. It might just be adding all of the numbers together here, because as you see, like, some of these are locked and then they have like the full unlocked. So this might just be the same exact value, just adding it together. So who knows? But to be in the top 1,000, we could definitely check out that as well for anybody out there that did want to know. And we'd look into this. It's funny, right? Because when we talked about A0 last time, we were looking at it kind of breaking out back in the summertime, and it retested a nice low, which we will definitely look into. So some of the top 1,000s are actually not even staking. The top 1,000, which would be this wallet here, is holding about 26,583 A0, which at the current price action right now is about almost roughly 26,500 anyways. But it looks very interesting here in terms of the price chart, and you might be wondering, well, like, why does it look interesting? Well, let's actually look into this and let's dive in on why I believe that this chart looks pretty good. So first off, 10_41 posted these charts over on Twitter, where he was looking at a possible bottoming structure on A0. Shout out to 10_41 for this chart. I'm only going to utilize this chart just real quick as a reference point. We also do see the MACD over here as well. Looks pretty good. But yeah, the reason why I actually like A0 at around this price action isn't just because of, so much support being here, but it's also because, not only when you look back on the year span, can you see where we have made bottoms before. What's interesting about this is having that higher low sort of aspect being put in. And you actually do see even back here during July, it's like 85 cents almost. Recently we came back down to test about 87 cents. I know it's a difference of like 2 cents, but it is still a higher low technically, which is still very good to see. So what I would like to see next from A0 is actually breaking out above the $1.50 level that we were at back in August. Again, this had that nice spike up, so it had to come down and retest, and I do believe that this could be our low. But, if we go lower here, I will continue to average in on A0. I think that this does have a ton of upside potential. I'm constantly looking at other tokens as well. LCX is still on my board of accumulating. So, again, this one I think is very special for market cap wise, but also to what they are doing. So let's actually dive in and let's look at a few things. So since the last time that I did do a video on A0, we have watched the ecosystem kind of morph into an absolute giant. We've been focused on this quite a bit, really kind of seeing what's going to be happening next. They still have not launched all of the smart contracts out on the mainnet just because the mainnet is not live yet. We will take a look at that and talk about that in this video as well. But we are seeing a lot more metaverse projects and things like that kind of be talked about and discussed over on the Twitter account. Still the only metaverse project live, or I shouldn't even say live, but in the works fully is Darkverse, which we did do a breakdown on. There's also two now decentralized exchanges in terms of NFTs. I believe that Art0 was the one that we really kind of looked at. That was the main one that I was really kind of centered on in terms of like the actual quality behind it. And there's a few other ones here in terms of lending, borrowing, launch pads, incubators, and things like that. There's a lot here, which is very interesting. I would love to see a lot more projects added to this from the testnet, which, if you guys didn't know, the testnet has been going absolutely crazy, and like I said, we will talk about that here in a second. But I also want to put a spotlight on the next major event that will be happening around Aleph0 Global Decentralization Tour, November 2022. We do see a few of the areas that they will be at, which I like to see it in multiple areas. Like, for example, we do see Singapore, London, Istanbul, Berlin, and Lisbon, which is awesome because, again, this is global coverage of course, A0, spreading the name, spreading the word, understanding what A0 is. I've always said community building and growth is key. In fact, Qantas recently had a community event. Where's the price at? Casper has been doing events all the time. Look at where the price is at. These events are crucial and key. Now, with that being said, with the event out of the way, there's going to be a lot more within this that they do discuss. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more major events coming as well. They definitely are trying to market as much as possible, which I told you guys, marketing is crucial. Like, it really is key. Hedera lacked this greatly. Obviously, yes, do you need to do a ton of marketing, in the space? Not really, not technically, but it is still, in my opinion, a very important area to focus on, especially being a newer and, quieter token. And we do see over here from the monthly update, I believe that this was from October, or it might have been September, actually, now that I look at it, from October 7th. Again, this could just be in the month of wherever until October 7th. I don't think that they give us a full-on date on that. But nonetheless, we do see a few things. So, 200 validators registered on the testnet. Continued work on introducing nominational or nomination pools. Identity palette feature has been enabled through telemetry. A0 users can track the status of the validators, which we've been really kind of looking at a few things with that. And then we do see a few other templates, a few other things in terms of validators. Inc 4.0. We do see ETH Warsaw. They attended it and organized the first hackathon, which did very well. Again, more events. My company, Poland, names Aleph0 among the top 25 startups on the local scene. We surpassed 100,000 followers. Aleph0 partners with Interlock, a DeFi cybersecurity startup. Nova integrates with Parity Signer, creating the first hardware A0 wallets. Super Colony and Aleph0 partner to fuel the development of Substrate. So, again, a lot of updates here. Love to see it. I do believe that there will be a lot more. Also, if you guys did want to keep track of everything happening, they do have this full-on blog post on their website where they talk about a ton of things. There's a lot on here that I probably won't get to in this video, but that's just because I'm focused on the big things. And we do see over here, when will smart contracts debut on the mainnet? So this is the thing that we should all be waiting for. If you are an A0 holder, this is what you are waiting for. There's over 1,000 smart contracts deployed on the testnet, and multiple use cases and teams we're in touch with. It's a high time for an update on what to expect in the coming week. So, again, a ton of projects that they do mention here are kind of live already, but we are still waiting for all of these major projects to go fully live, but we still need the mainnet to fully go live. And we do see a few things that they're breaking down in terms of like Inc 4.0. And we do see down here launching with the right foundation. So having all that in mind, after careful consideration, our team has decided to wait until the launch of smart contracts on the LF0 mainnet until Inc. 4 is released. With such a short time frame for a significant compatibility breaking update, we think it's much more reasonable to wait a few weeks instead of rushing and launching a technology that would become obsolete days after going live. This decision is not only beneficial for the long run, it's a must-have for the short term too. Ultimately ensures that the right resource allocation for everyone involved, as the ecosystem participants can focus on perfecting their products without worrying about migrating them after the deployment. So again, they are coming to the mainnet, and I shouldn't say the mainnet has a launch. The mainnet is launched. I'm just saying, like, in terms of all of these projects launching on the mainnet, they haven't fully launched out. I know that I said that multiple times, and I do apologize, but when we really kind of look at things happening here, I would love to get like an ETA on when the smart contracts are going to go fully live on the mainnet. I think that that is going to be the big thing that really kind of pushes the price action, the volume, the value, and a lot more people kind of learn what A0 is. I think right now we are still kind of, I want to say a shadow token, and I'm actually going to bring that sort of word up, and it's going to be a title that I'm going to add to a lot of these undercover tokens, just because they're shadow tokens. Like, a lot of people are just not looking at them, realizing the value behind them, or even understanding what they're actually doing. They're shadow tokens because they're so hidden in terms of the top, we'll say 2,858, which again, they're kind of counting it as that because of the self-reported market cap. We still have to wait until we see this fully go through an audit, which I don't know if they even, I'm pretty sure that they did do the full audit. Like, here's the Trail of Bits consensus audit. I would love to see a CertiK audit. If you guys don't know what that is, okay. For an example, if we went over to Casper right now, they're actually done by QuantStamp. I'm trying to think if, let me see. I'm trying to think of a token that is audited by CertiK. I might be, it might be a little bit of a challenge. So this one, so Alliance Block, for example, is audited by CertiK. So CertiK, they do a ton of audits. In fact, they've audited XDC's Infin, and they do like a full-on breakdown of everything. Like, for an example, this has like 10 unresolved ones that you can actually look at, and just informational ones that are the problem. But this is why I would love to see some sort of major audit for LF0, because although, yeah, we have Trail of Bits. Trail of Bits is like a very, I don't want to say like a shady audit, because I'm pretty sure Casper is actually audited by Trail of Bits, but they're also doing an audit with QuantStamp, which again, like, I would love to see a full-on, audit of the tokens. That way we can actually kind of see it move up in market cap, because once you do see that, it will change everything around, okay, well, how fast can I find A0 on the list? How fast is it going to move up the list? Because right now, I think that that is also a big thing that is kind of lacking it in terms of major movement because of the self-reported circulating supply. That's also like a big warning sign to newer investors. So I'd love to see a full-on audit. Do I believe that that's going to happen at some point in time? Yeah, I think that this is still a very early on project. Like I said, this launched during a bear market, so obviously I'm not expecting it to have full-on audits done just yet. It is a high-risk investment, but again, I am taking the risk. I think that anybody who is investing in it is also taking a major risk, so just be aware of that. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.